welcome back. So, No Name, we just saw push their way through to the grand final, and they've dumped BURTS down here in the lower bracket final. That is what is up next. Pushing 30 have been waiting patiently for this game for a very, very long time, in fact, since they put down their controllers last night. Bailey's has been umming and ahhing and losing sleep over this game, I can guarantee you now. Either way, it's it's going to be a really exciting game between these two sides, especially if we get to see Chickpea force out that light continually now on that lower bracket final.
Yeah, I think that they will, but I also want to talk about Pushing 30 because that's an amazing name.
Yeah,
it really shows kind of where they are. But yeah,
I can sympathise with this name very well. I'm 30 in January, so yeah, yep, I know how it feels to be up against crazy light mains that you just cannot compete with.
Yep. So I do think that Pushing 30 might have a little bit of the harder, uphill battle going against BURTS. We've seen BURTS. BURTS is an amazing team, but Pushing 30 does have a really great roster as well. Most of these people we've seen play in these tournaments, and I think that it's a really, really well-rounded team. Especially you were watching them play yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and I was impressed and surprised in equal measure, and I'll go into detail about that in a minute, but right now we have the map veto in front of us. Pushing 30 banning out Las Vegas, and BURTS banning Sis Horizon, the map they just lost on. Maybe feeling a bit sour after that one, so Seoul is going to be our surprise first pick from Pushing 30. BURTS moving us to Monaco for the second map pick, a map that they were very convincing on earlier, the only one they managed to win today, again the second map in the series, and then we're going to finish on the Skyway Stadium should we need that third map, Rio. So Seoul, let's dive right in here. Obviously the least played map in our pool.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them getting started on it because it's just the most uncommon map. The spawns of the vaults or the cash out stations are just so far away, and especially if you get that hospital spawn, it just makes it so difficult to push in. And on top of that, when you're pushing into the hospital, if you drop the sky bridge, you really just have this other kind of rooftop that you have to push onto, and it just makes a funnel effect, and that's what people don't want. And it is kind of a flip of a coin. Are you going to be the person starting the cash out or not? Because if you aren't, you're having to push through that rooftop area and be funneled in. When you make it across, you're already halfway damaged, and it just makes it just such a harder push for any team. You can be as skilled as you want, but that is just the situation you don't want to be in. And there are several areas on that map that make it kind of unique like that. And there are a few fun modes like under construction that change it up a little bit, but I just think there is a real reason why this is not picked as often. So I'm a little excited. I think that we get to see the different gameplay, and if we do get those weird hard spawns, it puts the opposition team in a interesting position. So we're gonna see what they can do.
And here we go, hopping straight into it. Pushing 30 and BURTS, two NA teams up against each other, with the French team of No Name waiting for them in that final. I'm sure they'll be watching this keenly. No unusual variants, it would seem. We've got the standard issue Seoul here, no construction, no moving platforms or anything. That means, yeah, we're probably not going to see, eventually we might see a hospital spawn, but it looks as though the objective spawns are maybe a little bit more sensible at the moment.
Thankfully, yeah. And we do see Bleeze rocking the shotgun and the winch claw. He's one of the best shotgun players. Yep. And I do love kind of seeing the winch claw being used more, because just like that, he wasn't able to get the pull, sadly. But if he was able to get that pull down onto the second floor, it would have been over for their heavy.
And right now, BURTS in a decent position, knowing exactly where Pushing 30 are gathered all around that staircase, as we see the push forward going through, and we see one death. Sloth taken out. Bailey's and Andrews now the last alive on their team. Down goes Andrews, all up to Bailey's. 1 HP, doesn't have the speed of the res available to him, but it seems as though they have won that gunfight or that team fight. I don't know. I felt as though Belize was about to die there, but clearly he got the final kill and I just didn't spot it.
Yeah, that was really quick, really fast combat, and just kind of one of those where you're down to the last quarter of your health, and he just made it out. He did look like he almost missed the cash out. And this is another one that's kind of hard because it's further in the back, and you have to push up into the air. And yeah, I just think that this is why this map is not picked. It's hard. They're in a really not great position.
But yesterday we saw Sloth and Andrew running differing setups on their medium. Andrew was favouring the shotgun while Sloth had the AK at times. I haven't quite clocked what they've got right now, but certainly in this position you'd be hoping for an AK to guard against those long angles. But we did see this from BURTS last time with the ability to sneak on underneath that gateway and other mobility tools by the light. Oh, a huge RPG though sends Z back into last Sunday, and he has to fall back. No option to heal himself up as well. He's the only person who can't do that on his team. So they have to wait again to get a cleaner engagement.
Over 30 had that picked out, and they saw it coming. What an amazing rocket that did just so much damage. I believe that they shot right into that staircase, and boy, just got Z down to nothing. Surprised he didn't go down, honestly. But that is just kind of the max amount of damage that RPG will do. Perfectly placed. And they really get the time advantage now because we're over halfway done with this cash out. We haven't seen a big team fight.
Just a double healing Baileys right now as they decide to fall back. They're playing for time here. Very smart move from pushing 30, getting back into cover. But now BURTS have control of this high structure, and they're trying to leverage that control. Landing a few kills there. Andrew takes down one. That is the light of Chickpea, but he is felled himself. And the trade comes out. Great res there. Andrew back up in the fight, and the shot doesn't quite land the necessary damage, but Sueko taken down there finally at range, and it looks as though this is going to be a very solid hold here for pushing 30 as that team wipe is confirmed.
Yeah, I might have overjudged pushing 30 because they seem to kind of have a nice control over this map right now. They're even leaving because they know that they've got it, and hoping that the next vault will spawn close to them. I think they went the wrong direction because it looks like it's spawning on the other side of the map, but
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they get to guard the hospital position from this. They're just making sure that no matter what, because obviously BURTS have this cash out now. They have the vault under their control. They just want to make sure that it doesn't end up in C with them having to attack it. So this is a smart move, forcing it to go to the other site if necessary.
Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore because I would hate to see BURTS not make it through this round, but pushing 30 is really kind of showing some nice flexing of their skill. There's some nice strategy going down.
It's early doors, and they are the ones that have picked Seoul, remember. So they're going to be comfortable here. They're going to know what they want to do. It seems like they're very well prepared for this matchup on Seoul. We see BURTS right now just sort of scouting out. They, of course, see the movement around on that hospital side. Just guarding A to get the free deposit.
Yeah, we did see the crane went down. I believe BURTS took down the crane, just, planning for the future, basically. Making sure that they don't have that extra avenue to get over to the hospital spawn. Doesn't look like they're going for the hospital spawn. They're kind of in the administrative buildings over here. And they do have the high ground.
Okay, thank God pushing 30 are actually going to play for A here. I thought that they might go all in on defending the hospital and just forfeit this cash out entirely. But no, they are going to try and take this fight. They get in relatively unscathed, but I say that as they take a little bit more damage from various sources. Falling back, the hook doesn't... Oh, it does connect eventually. A bit of a delayed registration there. Chickpea, though, does find the kill. And there we have the suicide as they drop off the side of the building just to make sure that they get the quick respawn as a team.
Yeah, and they're going to need it because by the time they respawn, it'll be halfway done on this cash out. So Z, Chickpea, Swacko are really in kind of a good position for this. That was a good team fight. Shame that one of them had to jump off and get the suicide. We didn't get to see that last little bit of combat. But hey, they're in a good position right now, and they honestly need it. They need to defend this point because by the time that this last team fight goes down, whichever team gets wiped will be able to steal this cash out or hold it.
Being freely allowed to journey across on this zipline means that they can get right in close to the objective straight away. And we're going to get a quick fight as the C4 will come out to blow a hole in the ceiling. And at the moment, BURTS are playing underneath. So we've got a bit of a sandwich going on. Oh, the jump pad comes out to move that cash out up, and presumably the hook to try and bring it into the room, or maybe they're saving that hook for a rainy day for the moment that they actually have to engage. And it does actually fall sideways, and they get the opportunity to steal. That forces the engagement, but they take a lot of damage here, and neither medium is whipping out their heal beam at all. That's just going to cost them. All of the heals go the way of BURTS, but I say that as Quaco is taken out, and it looks as though they do have the opportunity here to get the steal. No, I don't think they
Not
do.
enough time.
Not enough time. And in comes the hook.
Oh,
Does he have it?
am I wrong?
Absolutely,
Oh my
he does
God.
take it. No way. We thought that was over. Well, it is now.
That was shocking. They literally got it on the very last second. There wouldn't have been any more time. So, well done pushing 30. That was played perfectly. I am a little shocked. BURTS, where are you guys? Wake up. Like, that shouldn't have happened.
Quite surprising, but they did manage to do it. Our stats are going to be very skewed here. We only really saw, what, 14 fights as a whole, so let's see who came out on top in terms of kills and assists and deaths and support and all that good stuff. Wow, very even across the board, but Bailey's standing tall with 5 eliminations on that match, and only the 1 death as well.
Yeah, and we did see some really good winch claws going off from Belize, and I think that might have been the turning point in this whole fight. The fights happened so quick and so few that it's really kind of hard to analyze this match because it didn't go the way that I expected at all. I expected, pushing 30. I thought this would go to 3 cash outs, and I just thought pushing 30 would struggle. I know the team on BURTS, and this is quite the upset in my opinion.
What we saw from pushing 30 though was really impressive, because when I was watching them last night, I had 1 or 2 notes about their communication. I thought there was a little bit of lacklusterness, a bit of kind of messiness in terms of their comms, in terms of their movement as a team. But that game, we saw absolutely none of that. They were tight as hell. Every single movement they made was coordinated as a team. They wanted to play objectives, even thinking several steps ahead, going across to the hospital to defend that and making sure that the box didn't end up there and that they would have to attack it. And when it came to getting that steal at the very end, they were coordinated again. They committed to their move. They got that steal in the final moment, used all their utility wisely. So that's going to prove very useful, especially for a team that I've seen be relatively emotional. When you get that high, you get that first round win, that first map win under your belt for the night, that's going to do some positive things to your team.
Yeah. And do you remember the map that we're getting next? Because it's not their pick.
Indeed.
That was definitely pushing 30. Monaco. Okay. Yeah, so we saw BURTS play Monaco earlier, and they really kind of destroyed. It was kind of their map. So this might be really the map of today, the kind of the matchup, because BURTS can bring it here, but pushing 30 just showed us that, hey, no, they're quite relevant. They're quite talented players. And I think that this will be a really fun one to watch and to cast. I guarantee you that this one goes down to 3 cash outs. I feel it. I don't think any team's going to take it and wipe. I'm gonna
provide a little bit of contrary analysis here, because last time I was here, my one time, I'm a little bit biased because my one time I was here before with you, we watched Billy's and his team of Crust and Mauser do some disgusting things on Monaco. They were very consistently winning all of their games here on this map. So I reckon this map is going to be an absolute banger. It's going to be incredibly tight. Just by virtue of the fact that I haven't seen either of these sets of players lose very convincingly on it at any point. So expect some entertainment here.
Absolutely. And this is one of the weirdest vault spawns in my opinion. It's kind of down in this little valley area. So it's a really hard one to push into. But we do see it being opened, and they're in this tunnel rock area. Chickpea running the light still. He's very committed. I'm proud of him for doing it. 2 dome shields going down. A lot of fighting happening right in this one area. And it does look like a team wipe for BURTS. BURTS goes down.
Look at that. Belize left on 14 HP. He has to wait for the gas to dissipate. Yeah. That's incredible. Now we go.
Smart moves by him, but that is comedic. And, it does have a little bit of impact because he is delayed on moving forward. He did run through it, so his healing is restarted. But I don't think it's going to make that much of an impact because it does get started for them on Cash Out B.
So Cash Out B is where Pushing 30 will be holding this. Pushing 30 in pink, in case you're wondering, in case you're still confused. BURTS in blue. Blue for BURTS. That's what we're going to think about. Blue for BURTS, right now. And then next map it will be backwards, obviously. For, just because we'll have memorized it. That's why it will be backwards. And we can see, of course, the HML comp running over this rooftop, looking for an opening, looking to try and find out where Pushing 30 is. They can take an educated guess that they'll be inside one of these buildings by the cash out, but trying to get some intel first. Frag grenade goes out. Interesting to see Z running those frag grenades. Not a commonly run item amongst the mediums at the moment. You're more likely to see these glitch traps that Andrew's been running, for instance, as a very meta option for the medium right now.
I love the grenades just because I love and hate them, because when I get grenaded, I just don't hear it. There's so much chaos going on, and then there's a little ball at my feet and I'm dead. So it's a great item in my opinion.
Here comes the engagement, and it looks as though we got Zweko being forced back into the corner, but Andrew taking a lot of damage, and the pounce from the rest of BURTS there was exceptional to deal with the pressure that Zweko was facing and get the steal after the team wipe. It's going to be a very tight down to the wire fight here for this first cash out now. Pushing 30 have it all to do.
Yeah, what a team fight. They really pushed in, and that whole fight happened in, I think, a minute, if not less time. And they just went down and able to get the steal off.
Did they just... Can you gateway the cash out? I swear that's not supposed to work.
I don't think so. Did they grab it?
Maybe they moved it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought he was running...
Because I don't see a bounce pad. They didn't bounce it.
Either
but it
way,
is moved. Somehow it moved.
The time is now. It has to be right now for Pushing 30. They're fighting off away from the windows, but looks like timer is already depleted. So this is going to be a fight for the cookies, for the machismo, for, just to see who can win a fight, basically. And it looks as though Z is the last one standing for BURTS, and at least Pushing 30 get, a few brownie points, I guess, for that fight.
Yeah. And they will be closer to this next cash out, or this next vault, so they will get to open it and get set up for it. So they do have somewhat of an advantage, but the timing just didn't work in their favor. They had a nice push. It just, they had to have made it just a little bit faster, and I think that just kind of comes down to where they spawn, sadly.
It was close, and maybe a little bit of confusion as well over the repositioning of that cash out, and wondering what to do with it. He had to spend the winch on moving the cash out back to a playable position, and that affects you in the fight. But they still managed to win it. So who knows? Maybe you don't need the winch. Maybe he's not one of these winch crutches that you hear about. Either way, misses that one, and now BURTS in a decent position with this high ground as they have forfeited control of the box. But they are dropping in, they are committing to this fight. Oh, missed shot there from Z, and a second one, unfortunate, but seems to have cost him too much. Bailey's looks a bit separated from the team, though, and that has cost him his life. Down goes another medium, all up to slot, and he is dealt with very swiftly by BURTS as they forfeit, by BURTS as they now regain control of that box. Pushing 30, forfeiting that, so where will they put it here? Are they going to stick it straight in A? Wait, obviously, for the timer to expire. I don't think they're going to move it around to C. They like this position by the looks of it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the glitched mines? Because I know that there's a little bit of discussion over them right now.
They are so powerful. My issue with them is it feels like the hitbox to shoot them out is so tiny. Like, I know that's not the big problem, right? That isn't the problem with glitch mines, but that's just the most annoying thing. Is that I see them, I was like, oh, okay, I'll shoot that out. I'll shoot that out. I wanted to shoot that out, and then you're sitting there with, like, 2 less shots left in your shotgun. You're like, why? Why have I had to deal with this? Anyway, there's a crane fight going on right now, and some lovely shots hit in the low gravity arena by Sloth. He's cleaning up house right now. And Chickpea and Z having to back away as they've lost their heavy. And there's an opportunity here for BURTS, certainly, or rather for Pushing 30 to steal that cash out, but they're not going to risk it right now. They are sticking it. Looks like they've got the full body block going on. Don't want to waste any resources. And there we go. Picking up that APS for good measure as well. They get to reposition and play defense.
Yeah, they're in a great spot right now. I think that I'm not sure who went down, but on BURTS' side. Yeah, it was Swayco. Okay. And yeah, that's just impactful. And we're seeing them having to now push. Cash out is more than halfway done. So we've got one more good team fight in this, I think. And Chickpea is really far away. He's trying to get damage through the windows. Ooh, and he gets RPG'd and just deleted.
And Z looking to try and get that trade back, but he's hooked out of this dimension. All up to Zweko now, and surely with that team wipe, they have secured themselves this cash out Pushing 30.
Yeah, I think that they're in a good spot, and this will go down to one more cash out, just like I predicted.
yeah, it's going all the way. It's a close match. So Pushing 30 now in a commanding position. Where is that next vault going to spawn? Where's the next objective going to spawn as well? As we get a lovely sweep through Skyway. You don't get to look at this cityscape too often. Admire the wonderful rubber duck.
The rubber duck that fell and crashed the building.
It's very beautiful, actually. I'd love to go. This is like a city beach area kind of thing. So they look a little bit, you know, like Dubai or whatever. Like you got the hustle and bustle of the city, but the lovely beaches to go to as well. I'd go here.
Yeah, me too. It's a real place, and yeah, it's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I said, oh, it's like Dubai, and then realised it's Monaco. Well, like this is what Monaco looks like. Anyway, bit of long-range engagement coming out here from Chickpea. Again, you know, he's a big fan of chipping away at the health, just sort of keeping track of those little purple bars on his screen. Z up here, repositioning, getting back to his team. We've seen it a few times. I want to touch back on this point that Sueco, when he goes down as a heavy on this side, BURTS just know that they're not going to win a long-term fight, and they back away. It's a bit of a problem for this comp, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that is kind of the downside of running light. And one of your teammates goes down, and then you've only got a light up or a light and a medium. It just you're missing the heart of your team almost. So yeah, I can understand why they just give up, wait for the respawn, and set up. We do see Cash Out C getting started on the kind of foresty area outside of the map. And
I believe it's on the lift as well.
Oh, it is interesting. Normally they try and bounce it off the lift. I don't see much advantage to keeping it on the lift. You know,
they may well have done that. We haven't got a clean look at it, but it looks as though they want to fight amongst the houses anyway. They've got that gateway for a quick retreat, and in fact they're going to use it instantly. They decide that they are preferring to fight in the chaos of the forest. Maybe that will lean into the fact that you've got this light, you can duck and dive out and not have to worry about the close quarters engagement, all these shotguns and RPGs dealing quite as much damage. I think this is prime ground for Chickpea to take this fight, honestly.
Yeah, both teams are slowly closing in. We do see them kind of crouching in, coming in behind it. They do get gooed off for just a little bit. RPGs, red barrels in hand, glitch barrel.
Steel just yet, but they do have all the utility, as you mentioned, to go in with. No damage traded just yet. They're looking for that opening, and there we go. Some great bursts landing onto Bailey's and a follow-up. Great kills there from Chickpea. Andrew taken down, and the last remaining member of Pushing 30. What a lethal, what a clinical push from BURTS.
So clean too. Like they came in, and yeah, Chickpea really is kind of showing the power of the light right there, because he got right behind them. They didn't see him until he undid his invisibility, and I just think that was a nice play from Chickpea. And
that was the first fight. Yeah, how have we got like this far along? BURTS, you know, playing the timer very nicely. There's a gateway in the sky as well, so they have the option of jumping down above as soon as they go for the steal, and they are forcing it right now, Pushing 30. They haven't stuck it, though. They have to get these kills. They have to do something. Get these kills in the next 5 seconds, my friends, or you are out. You are done. So Chickpea does take down those players, though, and it looks as though BURTS won that team fight very cleanly. Yet again, this forested area proving the difference maker. Just so difficult to take into this position where you have the SMG reigning supreme. Very nice decision making there from BURTS to play that position as well as they did.
Yeah, and that means the BURTS will take this map. I think that was some really great gameplay from both teams. Chickpea finally showed up.
We're going all the way. I haven't mentioned that. The third map is on its way.
And you love to see it, because now we have seen really what both teams can do. I think that Pushing 30 has shown, hey, that they're still relevant even in their old age. Kidding. But and BURTS is showing, you know, what we've always seen from BURTS, the just true gameplay.
Z having a sleeper game there as well. We didn't really clock how well he was doing there, but putting in a big shift. Didn't have to heal very much by the looks of things as well. It seems like a lot of the time when Sueco died, he was just being bursted down. So didn't have the heal beam out very often. But
so his 7 assists didn't really come from healing, which is great. So he focused more on firepower, and maybe that's what they needed to kind of turn this competition, at least make it a little more competitive.
Yeah, and we're going to be heading to Skyway next, which you know, it feels like the best of both worlds. It's a very kind of clean mix between Seoul and Monaco, the two maps that we've just seen traded out. So it really is impossible to predict, right, what's going to happen here, who's going to find their way through to meet No Name in the final here.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Pushing 30. I think that they showed us what they can do in that first map, and I'd love to see them kind of get competitive and put BURTS down a little bit. But we'll have to see what they can do on Skyway.
Each team winning their map as well. Ping much less of a factor in this game, much to Pushing 30's joy as well. You know, fewer excuses to make, shall we say? But yeah, maybe if they get through to the final, there'll be some of that in their comms. Who knows? But I remember Bailey's was saying, he doesn't want to hear any complaints about ping today. That is the main thing. Didn't want to hear any complaints about ping. If they do manage to make it to the finals against the French team, we know that ping is a banned word in their comms.
Well, that's a good strategy, honestly. It keeps you focused because it is easy to get caught up in the actual fact that there is a difference in ping. Like, it does matter when you're fighting, when you're engaging, and just kind of you have to either lead your shots a little bit more or just kind of adapt to that ping. And there is that you have to adapt to it. So I think that that's a smart strategy, just to keep everybody on the same level head and level focus, because you don't want to get caught up in the fact that maybe I lost that engagement because I'm playing on a different continent. I'm playing across the globe.
The hook across the Atlantic Ocean is it's difficult to land no matter what. And you know what? You're rooting for Pushing 30. I'm rooting for BURTS here because I want to see a light in the final.
Yeah.
That's my only reason. I want to see a light in the final, and I want to see a rematch of our upper bracket final, BURTS and No Name. But there's, our opinions don't matter, right? Who we want to win doesn't matter. These guys, they're the ones in the server. They're the ones that are going to make the difference right now. Here we are on Skyway, taking a nice, lovely look at this office lounge. What do you make of this?
I love the chairs. Beautiful chairs. But here we go. Lots of destruction already happening. It looked like they were trying to blast the zipline with an RPG, but it did miss. So you see Chickpea and their whole team is able to kind of set up in a good position. Nice distance between both teams. Both teams kind of have the high ground. It does look like BURTS has a little bit higher ground. So let's see if they can take advantage of the situation, but they are not near the vault.
You know what I'm happy about? BURTS in blue, BURTS in blue. Blue for BURTS, B for blue for BURTS. That has stuck around. The random element has favoured us here. So that's going to make things a little bit easier. Pushing 30 are not pushing right now. They're defending as they have that box already tapped and ready to go. But they're not feeling safe about taking that massive leap of faith across the open area and being, just free food for the likes of Chickpea and that SMG at range. So they're going to maybe take it the long way around, go through construction. Looks like that's exactly what they are going to do.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, I swear that there are some times it's like a hidden thing that some maps are more crumblier than others. Other times, because you just saw, the whole structure that they were on, with just a few nades and maybe an RPG was just kind of falling apart.
They find the load-bearing beams. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. That is submission of the highest order. Clearly a bit of a disconnect there between the players of Pushing 30 as they move in the wrong directions. That was something that plagued them yesterday, and it's cost them an early fight there, and BURTS have the deposit in the hotel.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a cluster there. They just kind of messed up, and I think they were separated and then went down one after the other, and ultimately got team wiped. Now we see BURTS getting set up on the roof to the right. They are playing off the point. I think it's a great spot. They're in a nice height advantage, and it's forcing Pushing 30 to kind of group up and go below. I think they're going to try and drop the vault with cash out, and because that's really their only strategy. No, maybe I'm wrong. The zipline gets broke as they're going up it.
Maybe would have been a pretty place C4.
Yeah.
Sueco, I think it must have been. So they're just burning the timer here, and in fact that means that it's quite difficult to get up to the top of this building. There aren't many options around it, and we see a bit of destruction playing in as well as they try to lower that vault, but it does work, and they bring it down 2 floors. Are they going to force a steal here? Maybe taking a little bit too much time about it, and in come the bombardment of Vitronase that Chickpea has chucked their way. Gets a stun as well on one player. In fact, goes in to secure the kill, but can't do it as the shotgun swings round in his direction. Z looking to go in and secure it, does, and finds a second, but not enough as his team are wiped. And here comes the steal from Pushing 30. Dropping that box into the building and using those shotguns to their advantage.
Yeah, and that was pretty interesting because it seemed like Pushing 30 hesitated there for just a minute, and then everything started raining down on them. So pretty cool that they were able to pull out of there and then get the advantage from that, because I think that there was that communication hesitation, like, should we push, should we wait, should we do something, and then by the time that you're in that, it just all comes crashing down on you.
And it's
we do
action
see one more
stations
engagement.
now, because of course they have time to try and get this skill, but they have to clear it of all of the mines, all the utility on that point. Chickpea playing defense, but he's only a light, he can't do anything about a diving heavy, and there we have another. Well, not a team wipe just yet, but it might be an inevitability here. Andrew falling back, actually, to be fair. Pushing 30, taking a fair amount of a beating there on their defense, but they got the cash out. That is what matters.
Yep. And we just see Andor just kind of running around, trying to wait for his team to respawn to coin in. Oh, he's still going for an engagement, though. I saw that shotgun. Yeah.
They got the defib on Bailey's, and now he's up and ready to fight, and they are chasing these kills because they want to have that advantage, chase that second vault, but it looks as though they maybe have missed their opportunity now. It's going to be a full reset from both teams, I assume. Yep. And they get the tap on the vault as well for good money. Good measure.
They're playing really boldly in this match. I think that from what we've seen in the first two and finally in this one, they're just playing really confident and really bold. So we are seeing this more aggressive playstyle, and I love it.
Fight after fight right now, as they seem intent on going for fights at every opportunity as well. Chickpea at an off angle, as you expect him to be on the light, but he can't really find an opening here with pushing first. He bunched up as we see them in pink. See them box on the move, though. Very nicely positioned jump pad, and the low gravity doing them a massive favor here as they get a clean move towards the objective. That could not have been timed better for them.
That was really clean. That's the best way of putting it, because they got right on that zip line and basically moved it halfway across the map in 10 seconds. So that's some great movement, great strategy. I personally love low gravity, but literally every top tier player I talk to, they think it's one of the worst events. And, you know, I guess
it's funny.
Have your own opinion.
It's funny.
Exactly,
I mean,
right?
it is unbalanced. We will take that. And it's not as bad as, like, Dead Go Boom. But it's funny. So I like watching it, but yeah, I can understand why, you know, at some point we gotta, you know, get those, you know, settings in the custom games and things, and that will make it very healthy for the esports team. But as it is, this is what we're dealing with. So, very nice pair of jump pads, and in fact, it looks as though pushing 30 are going to steal their way towards that cash out and maybe get a sneaky steal here if they want to commit to it. But obviously, everyone gets his movement buff, not just them. Good kill there, as again, a bit of separation. Bit of disconnect between the players for pushing 30, and BURTS are very able to capitalize here. Chickpea on the hunt. No one better for it on this light, but does see him. Go on, you got it. There we go. Police goes down. And the fact that this is staggered deaths as well for pushing 30 is not a good sign for them, as they are the ones chasing this game. Are they?
What's really interesting in this one is what's interesting is how far away both teams are playing from the cash out, because they're a good distance. They were even on the other side of the map. Not the map, but the kind of gap area in between it. So they're not playing on point. They're wanting to kind of cut the engagement before they're able to push. And I think it's a real just interesting way of playing, just because they have to fight not directly here. But here we do see Sloth trying to go for the steal. Does get dropped. And RPG didn't really connect that much. He goes for the winch claw as well. Police just is not making the moves. In this, we see a lot of chaos happening right at the cash out. Sloth goes down. Andor goes down. And they aren't able to get the cash out in time, so they were able to kind of hold it off for them.
Solid defense by BURTS there, and I will correct myself, pushing 30 were not chasing this game, they were in the lead, so now it is going down to, once again, the final cash out on the final map. We have been here before already today, and BURTS have been here before already today. They are not doing their blood pressure any favours, to be honest.
Or mine, jeez. Like, these are tense fights, they're getting up there. And, you know, I keep going back in my head, like, who's going to win? Because
it's a fast board, but a decent one because it allows them to defend B and D from whatever approach BURTS decide to make here. It's going to be a tense few moments here, a few minutes, as they decide to kind of manipulate the movement of their opponents and just sort of find their way round eventually.
Yeah, they are taking their time. Everybody knows this is the last cash out. This is what's going to take it.
Nobody wants to make the next mistake.
Exactly. The sooner you engage, the sooner you make either the right move or...
Never try, never fail. Yeah, they don't want to get in that mentality. That's the exact opposite mentality. It's Who dares wins. That is the truth of it. And right now, Chickpea's the one daring, sending some shots from range again, separated from his team, as all good lights should be in to a certain degree. Able to reconnect as well, as there's a fight across the rooftops. They do still have control of this box, BURTS, and they do have the option of moving towards D with some pace, but the box is actually in the middle of the road. I've misread that slightly. So this is a bit of a tense standoff here. The no man's land in the middle of these two buildings, as it's trench warfare.
Yeah, and I've pointed this out before. These fights are just kind of funny to me because nobody really goes down. You have to make a lot of series of errors to even lose a teammate, and they're all just kind of huddled up. And it just kind of, I don't know. I'm a little not a fan of these fights, but we do see Sueco running in.
Huge hook
he
there.
Went down, yeah.
Huge hook from Bailey's. We're used to seeing those. Sueco comes down, Z follows, and now Chickpea is left, making sure that his team don't spawn too far and too late, as he's able to survive pretty much any situation as a light. But it looks as though pushing 30, they're going to have control of this, and it looks like they wanted to move it towards B. They don't want to fight out in the open. That's a good call, if you ask me. They want to move it towards B, play inside. But no, the movement has changed. Nope. Again, that indecision, based on presumably the spawn there. BURTS landing directly on top of B, and pushing 30 saying, you know what? Screw it, we just have to defend A point. They get the cash out plugged in straight away. The engagement is going to come through. No rest for the Wicked. Babies takes a chunk of damage, Slot as well. And they're not ready for this. Pushing 30 are not set up for the fight. They go down one. Sueco being healed up. Chickpea dealing the final blow there to Andrew. And now it's all up to the final player on the side of pushing 30. That is the Res Belize, but he has been taken down as well. They were just not ready for that.
Yeah, and that all happened so fast. They all just kind of converged around that one point. You could see their frustration with the glitch mines. Everybody kind of has to, you have that like moment of pause in your fight where it's like, I can't continue until something changes. And wow, we see
what is that that's doing that?
It's a bounce pad.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, you put it up right behind it, and if you get it right on point, it'll kind of bounce out just like that. And then I guess it removes the bounce pad. But we do see pushing 30 kind of respawning and pushing in. They got close.
The wrong way. Z's going to get the read on this eventually, and there we go. They may be able to engage, and they are going to go straight for it here. They're not set up and prepared for this. In going for the shot, Sloth taking a lot of damage, but I think they've dealt a fair amount in the direction of BURTS. There comes the shotgun. They have found that kill onto Sueco, and we know what that means for BURTS. They are up against it here. Chickpea looking to find those kills. Just find one. Belize goes down as well, and that is a wipe against pushing 30. BURTS should have this now. Maybe one last chance if they're lucky, but that could be it, Rio.
Yeah, I don't think that they have a chance. They're going to spawn in, 3 more seconds, and by the time they make it over there, if they get a god spawn, if they get a great spawn like they just did,
not bad.
Hey, they're actually kind of close. Wow, they're going to have to dive on it, though. But BURTS has the position. They have the upper hand. They're above it. They have a great line of sight on it, and boy, time's just clicking down.
They've got to get on it right this second, and I don't think they have it. The hook misses, and there we go, accepting their fate. Belize takes it like a champ, and they get finished off. The round is over. Pushing 30, unfortunately, just pipped at the death by BURTS, and we will see Chickpea on a light in the grand final with a repeat of the upper bracket final against No Name.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what pushing 30 did wrong there. I'm looking back, back at the match. Yeah, it just, shocking to see. But BURTS played well. I think Chickpea really turned on for this match. I think that he was showing the power of light and that SMG that he has. Because, boy, he has some lethal shots. And look at that. 10 kills on Chickpea. Yeah, 1 death. That's really what made it. Look at all the deaths on pushing 30. 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, 6, 7, and 8. And, boy, that is what makes a difference. Because you go down, you're down for 25 seconds. And that's just detrimental time that just kicks down unless you're able to get the res. And boy, just having the light player, the player that can dance around the map, only go down once, you basically were being bothered by him the entire map.
And he did that into 3 shotguns as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he had no right winning all of those fights, all of those engagements, and getting away with what he did, but he's done it. Pushing 30 commiserations, they've done pretty well this
Mhm.
event, all things considered, coming that third spot. And it must be mentioned at this point as well, it's not the end of the world. They've already booked themselves a spot in that Masters Split 2 final event. And of course, they're high enough in the global leaderboard to make themselves a shoe-in for the World Championship as well. So this is all just good practice at this point. Dealing with, a rampant light, it might be something, we're a few patches away from the World Championships for certain. Might be something you have to deal with then too.
Yeah, that was a fun matchup, in my opinion. Both of these
Absolutely.
teams really were playing well, and I loved how the first two maps were slightly slower, and then this last one they just let go, take the foot off the brake, and they really fought aggressively, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to see the action. I'm here to see the non-stop pushes. I'm here to see when they really just feel like they're fighting, and that's what I feel like we just saw in that match. Sadly, pushing 30 couldn't do it, but hey, you did great, and like you were saying, this is not the end of them. So stay tuned if you're still interested in seeing this team because they still have a lot to show us.